Hey guys, Scarlung, nice to see you. Welcome in. Just getting connected. I'm going to send out some invites real quick. Please share the live, tap the screen, help me get more people in here. A little different today. It's a Q A with me. I'm not going to be going over all the different objects. I have a couple things out here that I want to just talk. You know, I haven't done a lot of Q&As where people just ask me about me. Also, you know, we're getting into the spooky season. I want to talk about horror movies. I've got, you can see my page up here, my Face of Horror page. Go ahead, guys. Do me a favor. Keep tapping the screen and send some invites. Get some more people in here. This is a different time than I usually go live, so maybe I'm hitting a different crowd. But questions away. I do have a couple of things out here with me. If you want to look at those in a little bit, I do have the Vampire album, as well as a couple of items for protection. But let's talk whatever. Let me know if the music's too loud too. I like to play music while I'm going live. So, I don't know why I have to have this weird funky line, but apparently that's the only way. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's the only way to use green screen on live, it seems, at least for right now. Thank you, Stoner. Brittany, I will, let's see. I do have it right here. I do have it with me. Thank you so much, Brittany. I really appreciate everybody voting. Remember that you can vote once per day, so please do that. I'm still in second place, which is not bad, but first is better. Let's see how these look. Yeah, this is the Vampire album. I just recently acquired this. I've shown it in several videos on my page already, as well as on multiple lives. Let me go to one of the more frightening images. Hello, Ziggy. How are you doing today? My daughters really are not overly concerned about it. Melissa doesn't even really know anything about it. I don't know what you mean by OC. Mike, nice to see you. Doing a little bit of a different live today. I'm on a lot earlier, obviously. I just kind of wanted to answer people's questions. I'm doing good, Ziggy. Thank you for asking. I'm doing good, Mike. I'm sure you've seen my recent videos. Things with my divorce really went well for me. And I'm in this contest now. I'm still in second place, but the first round just finished. And you know, second place is not a bad place to be in. Justice, message me if you have stuff you think I'd be interested in. Let's talk. But like I said, I say often, and I'm not trying to... Oh, Mike, thank you so much, brother. You're amazing. Mike is the best. He's my mod MVP. Thank you so much, bro. Good morning, Linda. As I was saying, oh my god, my brain got knocked. I'm in second place. You can vote every day. Let's do it. As I was saying, okay, Justice, now I remember. Yeah, message me. If you feel like you've got something, or you feel like we should talk, message me. I will say that I get hundreds of messages, and I don't mean to sound like a jerk or anything, but you really got to convince me that you're worth the time, that you're somebody that I need to be talking to, because like I said, I just get hundreds of messages, and I can't respond to all of them. Thank you, Mike. How do you vote for me, Scarlung? You go to my profile here on TikTok, and in my link tree in the bio of my profile, there's a link, and it's one of the first links once you go in there. It says vote for me for the Face of Horror. You do have to have Facebook, because you have to verify through Facebook. If you don't have it, that's cool. Just hang out, comment, like the live, you know, help me get the word out to others. Okay, yeah, Justice, message me if you can do pictures. I know it's weird. Some people seem to be able to do pictures on here and some can't. But show me some pictures, message me, post a video about it, tag me, you know, we'll see. Hello, Daniel, nice to see you. Lead Slate, I'm just hanging out right now, answering questions, listening to music. I want to talk to you guys about all kinds of stuff. To ask me about me, let's talk about the paranormal, the supernatural. Talk horror movies. I'm a big horror movie fan. Thank you, Mike. Great mod. I have some wonderful mods. You know, if you feel like you've got a really interesting paranormal or supernatural story, or if you've got, like you said, you have some items, maybe you can go live with me someday. Message me. If it seems like, you know, something that my audience would enjoy and it seems legit, we could do that. I have not seen Beetlejuice 2 yet. I'm not a huge Tim Burton guy. I like the original Beetlejuice, but I haven't liked a Tim Burton movie in a long time. My favorite Tim Burton movies are actually Mars Attacks and Sleepy Hollow. I appreciate you guys who give me the prayers of any kind. That's no problem, but don't spam the chat, please, with that. Ask me some questions, guys. I mean, I've got some stuff here. I will show a little bit in the light. This is interesting. I have no idea who this is. Hold on. That's weird. This is the oldest photo that I have. It is a lithograph. It is of a woman who I have no idea who it is, but apparently this is the most powerfully blessed object I have in my possession. This offers more protection than almost anything else. I don't know who it is. Hello, Bipolar Viking. Another very powerful object that I have is this crucifix. Now, I don't believe it is the crucifix itself. It is hollow, screwed shut, and there is apparently some kind of prayer written down on a paper inside. You know, you can call it a prayer, you can call it a spell even, I don't know. But apparently it is one of the other things that keeps me much safer in the things I'm dealing with. That's what I'm thinking, Mike. No, it's not Bridget. It's definitely not Bridget. In fact, this photo is probably from before Bridget was born. It's a lithograph. These are from these are like the earliest. These are the photos people talk about. You know, you had to sit still for like 3 minutes. These are very old. I think Mike has the right idea. I'm almost wondering if she was basically like essentially a woman high exorcist. I mean, you know, they had to be Catholic priests in general, but what if somebody was touched with it even if they weren't, you know? What are they going to say if a woman shows up and she can do what these high exorcists can do? Say, sorry, you're a woman. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Apparently she was somebody important. I don't know. The New Salem's Lot, I'm not sure. I haven't liked a lot of modern stuff in a while. I haven't... From Europe? I mean, I assume she would be from Europe. Almost all the older stuff I have comes from Europe. That's where my ancestors were living. I have never removed it from the frame. I've been told not to mess with it, so I just keep it around. It's not like a paper picture. It's like on a solid piece of like black, almost glass-like material. What are you guys going to be watching? You know, spooky season basically has officially begun. It's summer. I mean, it's Florida here. I'm in Florida here, so it's basically still... I mean, I would say it's still summer, but it actually feels pretty cool today. Relatively, it's cloudy, but you know, that's got me in the mood. What are you guys going to be doing or watching, or you know, just how are you celebrating the spooky season? I don't like to give my location exactly away, but I do say that I am in Central Florida. Thank you, Edgar. I believe I am. For every dangerous object I've got 2 that are supposed to be blessed. It's Friday the 13th. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that. I do have the whole Jason collection. I'll be doing that. I love... that's who I am for Halloween most years, just because I'm cheap and I have a Jason costume that's pretty decent. Vampire Diaries, my... no hate on that, but my ex-wife loved that show. So I have complicated... I didn't really like it. The originals was okay. When your wife watches something, you have to watch it too. The originals was okay, but I didn't. Thank you, Leet Femboy Farts. That is quite a name. You seem unique yourself. I haven't heard anything about the Devil's Tree. No. Hello in Texas. Interesting, Kimmy. It's ex-wife, and let me tell you something. No hate. I still believe in marriage, but for me, it's ex-wife, happy life. And I thank you, Bipolar Viking. I like Florida. It's just too hot. I mean, the humidity and stuff in the summer, it just feels like it's attacking you. Like, sometimes you walk outside and you're just like, how do people... This is hostile to human beings. I do like the beach. I like the parks. I take Melissa. I just took her to... I gotta tell you, this is pretty cool. I took Melissa to the Orlando Eye, where there's an aquarium. And this is the first time I got recognized. Somebody came up to me. They recognized me from my Instagram page. And they came up to me and they were like, hey... are you on Instagram? You post about like occult stuff? And I was like, oh snap. That was the first time that ever happened. And now he says he can get me, maybe I shouldn't say, he's gonna help me out with some theme park stuff. Star Wolf, what are you saying? I'm not sure what you're talking about. On the Treasure Coast, is that the like essentially the west coast of Florida, or is that a different place? North Carolina. I lived in North Carolina for a little bit as a very small child, and where was it? I think Hendersonville was the name of the place. Today it's not bad. Right now it's not bad at all. It's been cloudy, but man, it feels great. It hasn't felt this good in a long time. No, I like living near the coast. I like living near the beach. I like being able to drive for an hour to get to the ocean, maybe 2 if I want to get to a really nice beach. You know, I get wanting to be a vampire, especially when you're younger. A lot of the media portrays them as essentially what I call gothic superheroes. They just have superpowers, they're dark and brooding, they don't have to drink blood, they can go out, they don't have any weaknesses. I mean, hell yeah, sign me up for that. But the truth is just, it's like becoming antisocial, obsessive, compulsive, sociopathic, predator. It's just becoming the worst of the worst. But you get to live forever, apparently, if nobody puts you down. Yeah, you got the right idea, Star Wolf. And now that I've learned more about rotters, like, I mean, would you want to risk that? There's apparently a small chance, that if you're turned, it won't... I guess the best way to put it is it doesn't quite work. And you still decompose. Like, you're alive, but you decompose. Like, your body falls apart. And, like, some of them it's just for an amount of time and then it stops. Some of them, the way that it's described, is literally decompose until they fall apart. As, like, a bunch of dusty bones. Oddar Official, I don't put too much stock in dreams all the time. Dreams can just be dreams. But, if it feels like something more, maybe you can chase that up somehow. There's probably something like that, Stella and family. I imagine I imagine there's places where they congregate. I used to think that they were much more solitary, but as I get more information and learn about the different types, you know, Harold Oldry, the one I talk about the most, Harold Oldry Sr., my third great-grandfather, he didn't deal with vampires too much. He did a few times, but it was never his focus. He was more about physical demons, cultists, worshippers of those kind of things. Harold Oldry Jr., now that I'm getting more into his stuff, I'm learning a lot more about vampires than I knew from Harold Sr.'s writings. And, you know, I have no idea how many different kinds, or what different kinds of behaviors, you know, you got me now. I used to think I had an idea, but I just keep finding out about more. I do believe this stuff still exists, yes. I do absolutely believe this stuff still exists. Let me show you some of what I'm talking about. When I say that sometimes when you're turned into a vampire, you still decompose for a time, this is what I'm talking about. You can see an example of that right here. This is a vampire, and for several months after she was turned, she continued to decompose. Now here we have another one, the same thing. I'm in second place right now. I'm not sure how to say the first part of your name. I'll just call you Goodies. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Big Blurry. That I don't believe is correct, Autran official. Here is a picture of a much more dramatic. This one decomposed likely for years, if not longer. Let me see if you can see it. This filter makes it difficult. Okay, the filter here makes it difficult to show that, but you can check out my profile. I've got several videos up. If you miss my lives that I do at night, check out my YouTube and you can see live replays. I didn't win yet, LT. I did not win the first round. I'm still in second place, but I finished out the first round in second place. Basically, it's an elimination thing. Now it's top 20. Now there's multiple groups, so there's multiple groups of top 20s. It's going to whittle us all down over a few weeks to the top one, and then those are going to go against each other at the end of October for the winner. Mama Snow Witch, nice to see you again. No, it's not leprosy, Ethan. I have ones in here that are far beyond leprosy. If you didn't see the second one I showed you, that was literally a skeleton with some meat on its claws still. I've got, let me see. Is this a leper? Let me see. What else we got? Is this a leper? I love when people see one thing and then they think they're smart. Let's look at Reggie the Bat. I wonder if he's a leper. Nosferatu. You mean Orlok? Max Shrek? Go ahead and look at a picture of Max Shrek. That's not Max Shrek. I got some more in here. Let's see. I don't know how you could believe this is a leper. This is well beyond what could be a leper. Nosferatu's a 1920s movie, 1922 to be exact, Ethan. And Max Shrek did look similar to elder vampires, but that's because I believe Albin Grau had seen one. But if you actually look at a photograph of Orlok, it looks pretty different. I've actually got 3 different elders. Here's another one. Oh, somebody just gave me a nice gift. I didn't see it. Sam, thank you. You can see here another elder but clearly not Max Schreck. There were beautiful vampires as well. What would be called regals. They, essentially what you think of if you think of the vampire Lestat. Somebody earlier mentioned the Vampire Diaries, stuff like that. Very predatory, very brutal, but they enjoy being around humans. They enjoy hunting openly. They kind of revel in what they are, whereas other types might be a little bit more reclusive. I have not had any more experiences with the Haunter, the Horst Lindstrom. If you're unfamiliar, I do have something. I've talked a lot about my family history. There is, negatives to that as well, what you could call curses. Hello, Casey. And we have something, you could call it a vampire spirit that does haunt the family, and it has for a very long time. Have I met one? Well, I said I have caught in video of that kind of vampire spirit I was speaking of. I've captured it on video twice in my house. Those are on my page. I've also interacted indirectly with a female vampire that is very unique. That has, she actually hunts vampires, and she's done so for close to 300 years. The vampire spirit is not chill. He would like to unalive us if he could. Alexandra is cool. I haven't interacted with her directly. Like I said, it's been through an email account that she contacted me on. I try to answer everyone's questions. I try to answer everyone's questions. How can you protect yourself from evil ones? That's a tough question. I don't like to be preachy, but one of the only universal things that seems to work is some kind of faith, and that doesn't necessarily mean Christianity or even Abrahamic. I have records of all kinds of faith working against the supernatural, and like I said, I don't want to preach and say you need to have religion, but maybe I don't know. When did they invent the 50 caliber bullet? Maybe that can handle something. I always said, they say that there's certain things that regular weapons couldn't destroy, but, what could an RPG do? Santeria, okay, that could be. I don't have a lot of reports about stuff that's more on the Western Hemisphere, but in Europe and even down through parts of Africa, into Asia, India, I know that different kind of spiritual practices worked. Oh, Tim, nice to see you, brother. How did you do in your competition? Did you stay in first? Tim is also he has a different group than me, but he's also on the Face of Horror contest. Mike, I love you answering questions for me. Mike is the GOAT. That's awesome, Tim. I finished in second in mine, but I think I'm in one with other kind of social media people. They kind of try to organize them similarly in the first few rounds. Alexandra says hi. Man, I always get people like this. They want to try to, I don't know if they want to one-up me or something, but I don't believe you talked to Alexandra. Anything going on with the tree lately? I haven't really been out there that much. The guy who mows my yard is not great about showing up on time. He regularly comes 1 or 2 weeks late. And if you know the area, Central Florida, in the summer, that means the place turns into, I'm worried about velociraptors out here. A woman in a white dress? That could be a ghost. Oh, thank you, Sabi. Awesome. Croatia, that's cool. I don't know that it can't hurt me, E. Carl. I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to play with fire. What's my favorite scary movie? I'll get back to that in one sec. Tim, I have tried to get over there, but I've been told that he's not buried there. I don't know if that's true, but whoever owns the property won't let me go there. I'm trying not to push that. That's one of the things that I can't really talk about as much. I've mentioned that before, but you're a longtime supporter, so I'll answer you. A vampire story, message me about it. I have had a medium come. I'm talking to a couple others right now. Banshees are death omens. They're not really something that's going to harm you. They're just going to let you know that harm is coming. I do believe in God, but not specifically one. My family, I guess I would say my family's patron would have been Christ. They were Catholic. They definitely believed that there were other divinities that existed as well. I have not met Alexandra in person. I have communicated with her. I think that many different religions all have part of the story. You know, nobody's got the complete truth. But people all over the world, they wrote down what they experienced. They learned different things. It kind of is like a puzzle. I've done videos about my communications with Alexandra. Basically, she's just kind of given me some advice, helped me, gotten me a few items, and basically given me her blessing. Guys, I will say again, if you can, please go to my profile, vote for me, give me some votes for the Face of Horror contest. We are in the wind is blowing my door. We are in the second level of the contest. Last I checked, I'm still in second place. Let's do that. You can vote once per day. As far as I know, Brittany, yes, Alexandra, the most important thing she does is maintain that rose. She does that so that she doesn't have to take life. I believe Alexandra, I guess you could say, hunts other supernatural creatures. I think she is almost more of like, I mean, the only way I can think to say it is like, not management, but in a higher level of these organizations. I've talked about that I don't believe that there are massive organizations like there were in the past, but small networks, basically small groups that work together, that network with each other, communicate back and forth. And I think she's basically one of the top people that connects them. I don't know about the Morrigan. Strange things. That's because there are multiple different groups. There are different groups. You can actually go and click on where it says now I think it says, it did say clairvoyant round, and now it says something else. You can see the full list. I'm definitely in second place in my group. You can go check the link on my profile. Basically, all the groups are going to wind down to the top one, and then those top ones are going to compete against each other. I think I've seen that, Will. I've seen a couple different photos that from older, before people really had the same techniques. Jay, I don't have any. Thank you, Lex. I don't have any mention of dragons, but the dungeon where a lot of the creatures that I have photos of were held was called St. George's Keep, and St. George was supposedly a dragon slayer. Tim, I'll be posting about that. A collection of short stories will probably come out first, which includes Into the Troll Den, which I've never released in physical form. And then other books will be coming out after that. That could be Mike. I always say I don't really have any information about dragons. Thank you, Lex. Appreciate you. Vampires can walk around in the daylight, most of them. They prefer the night. I don't even know if they're weakened in the day, but they just prefer the night. I don't know exactly. Yeah, I do say, like, I mean, I don't know anything about dragons, but they did name the dungeon after a supposed dragon slayer. And, you know, at this point, I'm not ready to dismiss anything. Lex Silver, thank you. I look adorable. Andrea, I haven't been taking blocked calls in a long time. If the number doesn't show up, I don't answer. So I have not gotten any weird ones. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, guys, if you want to check them out, I have them right here. The books that I've published. I think it'll show them backwards. Yeah, the Oldry Family Bestiary. They're in my link tree. It has all the photos that I show here and more with the descriptions. I've also got the Old Breed Haxan, which tells one of the more interesting stories of the Oldry family, and Harold Oldry's work with Bridget, the Irish witch. I don't think there's vampires on TikTok that are telling people they're vampires. I think that if there are vampires that use social media in any way, they are keeping quiet about what they are. You see, no vampire would care in any way for human attention in terms of what you could call clout. They don't think of us as people. That's like saying somebody's really interested in having a lot of sheep, give them attention and love them. So it just doesn't, I really don't think that's what's going on. Brett, because you don't look for it. If you look for it, you'll see there's a lot. There's crazy videos. There's all kinds of stuff. It's just the people that want proof always move the goalposts. When anything's, you show them anything, they move the goalpost. That's why I always ask, what would people consider valid evidence? And nobody's ever able to give me a reasonable answer. They tell me things like a ghost showing up in a room and being interviewed or something like it's just nothing reasonable. Gargoyles are not creatures. Gargoyles are just statues. They're a type of what's called apotropic magic, basically protective objects, protective sigils. The idea is they keep evil spirits away. And actually, they're called grotesques. Gargoyle is just an architectural feature that funnels waters off of from pooling on roofs. I was agnostic atheist when I started this. I am in second place still. I'm in second place still in Face of Horror for my group. There are multiple groups. So you're probably seeing other people that are all saying they're in the same position. There are multiple groups, and once they get whittled down, basically the winners of each group go against each other. Everyday experienced ectoplasmic entities. If you can get evidence, man, that would be great. Take a video, try to get something. That would be fantastic. I have never been to Appalachia, so I haven't interacted with anything like that. That's cool, Will. Good for you. Lex, please get some video, my friend. Get something. That would be amazing. I don't go in for the Vril stuff. I've looked into it. It seems to come from a lot of Nazi propaganda stuff, so I don't really go into that. Do I have a favorite scary movie? Let's get back to that. Okay, I'm going to get back to the other stuff, but I've been wanting to talk about that kind of stuff. A favorite, that's a difficult question. I'm going to put it a little bit more specifically. I have movies here to give recommendations. One of my favorite movies of all time, and it is kind of scary, it involves the Grim Reaper and stuff, is The Seventh Seal. This is an older movie from 1958. It's a Swedish movie, but you can see there's an English dub. A great, great movie, The Seventh Seal. You should check it out. It's got Max von Sydow, the guy who played the Exorcist in The Exorcist when he was a very young guy. I love The Howling. I actually love The Howling sequels. Those are some of my favorite guilty pleasure movies. I love The Howling Part 2 through 6. I don't like 4 as much, maybe, but all of them, I love them. That was Haxan. That's an older, that's the same year as Nosferatu, 1922, Haxan. Today is Friday the 13th. A great day to watch some Jason movies. Jason Lives is probably the best Friday the 13th movie. Part 6. I do like Kane Hodder the most as Jason, but as a movie, Part 6 was probably the best. It's Haxan. It's actually spelled Haxan. Mama Snow Witch, you rock. Thank you, Frederick. Happy Friday the 13th to you guys as well. You know, this might be horror blasphemy. I might get my horror card revoked. I actually don't care for the first 3 Friday the 13th movies. I can take them or leave them very easily. But after that, I like 4. I like 5, even though it doesn't really have Jason. It's a copycat. I love 6. I love 7. It's kind of like Jason versus Carrie. That's got my favorite Jason look. Even Part 8. You know, I can definitely take a bad horror movie, a guilty pleasure. I love Jason Takes Manhattan. I like Jason Goes to Hell. I like Jason X for what it is. I love Freddy versus Jason. I even like the Friday the 13th remake. I thought it was dope. It is not sad to like Jason X. It is what it is. It's a movie that very much understands and acknowledges that it's ridiculous and silly. I think it's a fun movie. Yeah, but Frederick, I really don't care for Friday the 13th, the first one, at all. It's interesting that they did a murder mystery twist to it for like to differentiate it from slasher movies, a little bit of Giallo influence, I guess. But I don't know. I don't care for the first one. I like Freddy vs. Jason. I have a lot of fun with that one. Have I come into contact with the deity of it? I do think I've come into contact once with Brigid, the Celtic goddess, basically through the spirit of the Irish witch that was supposedly her avatar. I'm doing good, Raven. OG, well, Frederick, I'm very OG. I just showed my favorite was a movie from 1958, The Seventh Seal. I go all the way back to the silent horrors. I love those. I tried to watch Never Hike Alone on YouTube. I couldn't get into it. It was just too boring for me. I did watch it. I know there's a sequel that's supposed to be pretty good, but I don't know. I didn't like the first one. I couldn't finish it. They might have tried Big Money Mike, but I don't answer. Has the order, he's asking the Sons of Man, have they reached out to me? I believe they have in the past, but I think they're much lesser than they once were. I have seen The Witch, and I feel like it's exceptionally well done, but I don't really like it. You know, it's weird. I've watched it a couple times. I feel like it does everything it's trying to do perfectly. I love the cast. I love the content, but it's just he has a weird way of telling stories that just doesn't really jive with me. I'm cautiously optimistic about his remake of Nosferatu. I have not tried a spirit box. I don't really have a lot of faith in like apps that say they can talk to ghosts and stuff like that. Hello, Azucena. I am half Colombian, and I lived in Colombia for like 7 years, so I can speak Spanish and pronounce Spanish names correctly. I have not seen The Ritual, but I've been meaning to watch it for a long time. I only date cats. Wait a minute. Get back to me in a minute. I'm scrolling to get things. Hold on. Yeah, people have heard EVPs in my videos. I do, sí hablo español, pero no sabía que Belgia era un país de español. I didn't know Belgium was a Spanish country, and I know it's not. I'm just joking. Can I elaborate more about what was happening in the house? I only date cats. That's such a complicated answer. I can only direct you to my page, my videos. Probably my YouTube is the easiest way to follow. Go to my YouTube. I have it in episodes. Alex Calvo is Haunted, episodes 1 through 23. They're in a playlist. It's basically like a season of a show. Go watch it. It's crazy. Okay, I see, Mike. I think that the problem is that there's a bunch of apps called Spirit Box, so I got confused. I'll look into that. My dad didn't really teach us a lot about Colombia when I was a kid. I don't have like a lot of connection to those urban legends. I got them later when I lived there. I lived there in my 20s for about 7 years. There's some like La Llorona, of course. Cucuy. They also talked where I lived. There was this story about like an orphanage burning down, and it was on this mountain. And if you go and park up in that mountain late at night and you leave candy on your car, like little kids' handprints will appear on the windows or something. That's the story, at least. It's a pretty good one. Thank you for being here, Jay Weezy. Mama Snow Witch being an MVP. La Mano Peluda? No. This was a specific to Manizales, Colombia kind of story. The band Spirit Box? No, yeah. Nice to see you, Luis. I'm still going to be here for a little while. I got to go eventually to pick up Melissa from school, but that's very close. And I'll be hanging out again later. I'll be on most nights now for the duration of this contest. I don't know if supernatural activity is more common in South and Central America or just people down there are more open to it. I don't want to say that they just like are more gullible. I believe that if they're experiencing it, they're more likely to report it and believe it. Yeah, Frederick, it's a cool name for a band. Spirit Box, can't deny that. Yeah, guys, everybody, please, if you can, as it says here, vote for me daily. Face of Horror, link on profile. I finished out the first round in number 2 in my group, so I would love to keep moving forward. They asked about my favorite horror movies. I'll say another great one, Warlock. There's 3 of these movies, but particularly the first one is the best like hunter style movie I think that there is. I really enjoy it. A lot of people talk about Van Helsing, but I kind of hate that movie. Thank you, Priya. But if you want to see a movie about like a hunter type character, check out Warlock. That's a great one. Another one of my favorites, I guess I would say my what do you call that? A hidden gem or Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. One of the best. Exceptional movie. It does feature Jada Pinkett, but it's when she was much younger and not as crazy. I know a lot of people don't like her, but the movie still rules. Lead Slate, that's good for you. I don't know how you would do that, though. No, my Colombian part of the family has no connection to any of this. Babadook is another one I haven't watched yet, but I would love to. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time. I have not seen the Salem's Lot remake trailer, but from what I have seen, I wasn't too excited, but I'll check it out again. Nightbreed, I haven't seen in a long time. I remember liking it, but that's one of those movies I watched as a kid that I probably shouldn't have. But Nightbreed, yeah, that's a good one. Need to watch it again. Maybe that'll be a good one to watch this spooky season because I haven't watched it in a long time. I'm not sure when Salem's Lot comes out. Another old black and white movie that I love and I think more people should check out is Night of the Demon. This has the American and the British version. Curse of the Demon is the American version. Watch the British version, Night of the Demon. This is a great horror movie. And it's cool because it's from the 50s when most horror movies were like sci-fi, like alien invasion type stuff. This is a paranormal, supernatural, occult style. Check it out. Bubba Hotep is good. I like Bubba Hotep. I do have that one. I haven't watched that in a long time, but I do like it. I remember loving it. I will have something that talks about Frogette eventually, but it's not going to be in the new book. The next book that comes out, the first book is The Old Breed Haxan. The next one is supposed to be The Old Breed Nosferatu. I say supposed to be because I have gotten very distracted by a book about Dmitry Vedeska. And to be honest, I've written a lot more of that one. I would say that one's probably 75% finished, so that might come out first. See you later, Mike. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a great mod. Mama Snow Witch, you're a great mod too. Ooh. It is a little humid, so like it's not hot. I don't think I'm sweating. I think it's just like humidity building up on my skin. That's Central Florida, baby. Luke, I'm just hanging out. We're talking horror movies. We're talking paranormal activity. Listening to some music. Thank you, Steve, from Michigan. I'm honored to hear you say that. I'll check them out. I really appreciate everybody who tries to help me in any way. I am a writer. I do write. I've written. I published multiple things about what's going on with this stuff, what I've learned. I also have other things that I'd like to publish that are unrelated to this, but you know, maybe later in life. The Devil's Do you mean the Devil's Rejects? I don't hide my face, man. I have my face in tons of videos. I guess people just watch my lives. I mean, it's funny. I always get people who say, "Oh, a face reveal," and I'm like, I don't hide. I'm in a lot of videos. My books are all in my link tree on my profile. Atra, I have retrieved an item from somebody, and I've talked to some people. I'm working on something like that. I'll check it out, Ravens. I appreciate you sending me that. Hold on. They are. Yeah, Stoner, unfortunately, I self-published them, so they're only available on Amazon. Thought I was older. How old do you think I am? I'm not a young feller. I'm not an old man, but how old do you think I am? 27. I love you. 30. You guys are wonderful. Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful people. I'm 36. I am 36. Good genes. 88. Andrea, you're not as beautiful. I'm kidding. 54. That's fine. That's good. Seether lead singer. I can take that as a compliment. I did like Seether way back in the day for a little while. Until they got too weird. A Wendigo? I'm not exactly sure. I recommend you speak to indigenous lore people or people that do social media about that stuff. I don't know. I feel pretty good. I don't feel, age is just a number. They won't talk about what, Mama Snow Witch? Guys, what is your favorite Halloween movie? And I mean that like specifically a movie that is about Halloween. Not just a scary movie or like about witches, but one that is a specifically Halloween movie. Oh, well, I'm doing pretty good, Laura Kay. I appreciate that. I live in Florida. I don't leave my windows open because I don't want 10,000 mosquitoes coming into my house. There's none out right now. That's what's good about it being kind of cooler. You see, Young Frankenstein, that's not a Halloween movie. Jason, I think you mean Friday the 13th. I love Subspecies. I actually work with Charles Band now. I just did work on their next movie coming out, Death Streamer. I love Subspecies, all of them. Huge fan of those. The first Halloween movie I like a lot. I also love part 3, which is not connected at all. If you know, you know about it. I love it though. I didn't care for the Rob Zombie one as much. I thought it was a little bit too over the top. Any cryptids recently? Again, I love Hellraiser, but I wouldn't call that a Halloween movie. I'm talking movies that are specific to Halloween. I'll give you one that I love. Trick or Treat. If you haven't watched this movie, watch it. This is a great, probably one of my favorite, maybe my favorite, like, horror Halloween movie. Now, when it comes to family Halloween movies, everybody says Hocus Pocus. I love Hocus Pocus, but in this house, it's all about Ernest Scared Stupid. If you haven't seen this movie, it's got incredible practical effects for a kid's movie. It's Ernest and a bunch of trolls. This is an Ernest Scared Stupid house. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love Hocus Pocus, but I'd take Ernest Scared Stupid over it any day. Halloween Town, thank you, Dreamcatcher, really appreciate the gifters. I liked Halloween Town more as a kid. My daughter loves it, but I still like it. But that's more of like a way kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit, thank you, miss. I've aged out of it a little bit. I haven't watched Hell House. I've heard it's good. I never cared for Nightmare Before Christmas, you know. I've said, you know, Tim Burton, I don't really like most of his stuff. I don't know why. I love Mars Attacks. I love Sleepy Hollow. But that's really it. Love Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Demons is great. Not to be confused with Night of the Demon, which I talked about earlier, one of my favorite older movies. Love Hellraiser. The first 2 Hellraisers were pretty good. I notice you, Teke Lickin'. I notice you. I have not seen Deliverance. I might check it out. That's cool, Heather. That's okay. I just like to talk about a little bit. I like to mix it up a little. I didn't care for the second Halloween movie. I love the first one. And this is another one where people are going to get mad at me, but I don't really care for Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know. I never cared for her. I felt she was really just a Nepo baby. That's where she got all of her roles from. Phantasm I need to watch. That's one that I've been meaning to watch for a long time. Found footage. I love the Blair Witch Project. I know it gets a lot of hate. Troll Hunter is phenomenal. That is, I think it's a Norwegian film. Troll Hunter is incredible. I like the original Pet Sematary. The remake, I'm not sure if I've watched. I think I did watch it. I felt like it went too hard to try to be creepy, and so it lost some of the scariness. You know, creepy and scary are 2 different things. Love Army of Darkness. I love the original Evil Dead. The original Evil Dead is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I don't care for the second one as much. I love Army of Darkness. I didn't really care for the remake. I love the first Evil Dead. Wishmaster's all right. I liked it a lot when I was younger. I don't like it as much anymore. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is amazing. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is amazing. The Gate, I like it. That's kind of a cool, cheesy one. I do like the Gate. Yeah, Evil Dead before the comedy, exactly. The first movie was not a comedy. I haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, another one that I've been meaning to watch. I like the old It. I don't think I watched the new one yet. I liked that Pennywise looked like an actual clown that you might see at a circus or something, and not clearly a horror monster, because the Pennywise in the remake, like, nobody's looking at that and thinking that's a real clown. Jeepers Creepers is tough. That was actually filmed around here, but the director-writer is a brutal child rapist who did it on camera and was convicted of it, so I don't look at any of his stuff. Reanimator's a good classic. The Fly, classic. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate all the I appreciate all the support. Yeah, Ravens, it sucks. I know it specifically because people around here know about it because they filmed it close to here. And one of my friends who grew up here told me that it was when he was in high school and the dude wasn't allowed to come a certain distance of the high school. Thank you, Cyclo. Thank you, I Only Date Cats. Thank you, Papa Rogers. Love all the gifters. You guys are amazing. Yeah, look into it. It's sick. It's crazy that he still got to... Because he made those movies years later, years after that happened. Thank you, Papa Rogers. It's crazy that he got to. Poltergeist, a classic. Love Poltergeist. Love Poltergeist. I thought I had my copy out here with my suggestions, but I don't. But I do. I hated the remake. The remake was so bad. And it was... Did anybody notice... Oh, okay. That's my first alarm for picking up Melissa, but I still got half an hour. Did anybody notice, if you watched the Poltergeist remake, the guy that they had come in instead of the psychic, like the remake version of the psychic, was just John Constantine. It was just Constantine, 100%. It was so weird. I haven't seen Cemetery Man, Midnight Meat Train. The Descent is another one I've been meaning to watch. That Curse movie, I'm not familiar with that one. Let me see if I got it. You know, a mainstream horror movie that I love, and some people give it hate. I love The Conjuring. The first one, didn't care for the sequels at all, but the first Conjuring movie to me is an all-time horror classic. You know, the first films are usually the best, but then you get things like The Thing and all that. The first Silent Hill was good. I did like the first Silent Hill. I think the Warrens were frauds, personally. I love the first Paranormal Activity. I actually saw it in theaters, like when it was before it went wide, and it had a different ending. It had a much better ending. At the end, the girl comes up to the camera and like cuts her neck, you know. And the sequels I felt were kind of hit or miss. Thank you, Psycho. Usually within themselves, like they have good moments, they have bad moments. Another classic one that I love, it is horror, but it's very different, is Jaws. I love Jaws. The first Jaws, chef's kiss. I haven't watched Grave Encounters. I might check that out eventually. I've heard some good things. Your bathroom is all Jaws. Brave. I'd be scared to take a bath in there. Smile does look kind of interesting. Thank you so much, I Only Date Cats. I really appreciate the gifters. And the voters, guys. Everybody who's going over and voting for me, I love you guys. You're helping me possibly transform this channel and everything that I'm able to do. We're in the haunting round now. Thank you, Psycho Jester. The Fog is one I haven't watched, or Phantasm. I need to go back and watch those. Those are classics I've always been meaning to watch. Oh, another. I mean, you guys probably know this if you're into this stuff at all. Pumpkinhead. One of Sam Winston's, the special effects guy. One of his only movies he directed. Pumpkinhead is, for me, a classic. I watch it every year in spooky season. It's also one of my favorite demon movies. I actually love Pumpkinhead 2 also. That's a really cheesy one a lot of people hate. But I mentioned I really like guilty pleasure B-horror movies. So I do love Pumpkinhead 2 as well. The 3 and 4, the sci-fi original movies, not so much. Pumpkinhead is it's interesting because it's got a good creature, and, it's pretty scary for what it is. As a child, like, I watched that one probably in middle school or something. I was probably like 12 or 13, and it scared the crap out of me. Basket Case is a little bit too much. Basket Case is too B movie for me. Oh, that's very interesting, Mama Snow Witch. I do love some cheesiness. I did mention that I love the Howling sequels. I love Subspecies, the Puppet Master movies, all the older Full Moon stuff. Working with them now is a dream come true. I literally just emailed Charles Band, the CEO. Hey, look, I've got this big social following. I talk about this kind of stuff. I'd love to work with you. And I did. I worked on their most recent movie. It's about a guy. The main character is essentially like a horror YouTuber. And all the videos you see of his in the movie, I made them. Like, Fright Night is a classic. I didn't know Carrie Fisher was supposed to be in Clue. I haven't watched The Strain. American Werewolf in London, I have similar problems with that, like I mentioned about Jeepers Creepers. John Landau, I believe, is the director. I can't remember if that was him or not. Whoever the director was, he has a huge controversy around the Twilight Zone movie, basically cutting out every corner he could imagine. He got a bunch of kids killed in the movie in a horrible accident. That was 100% his fault. So I don't watch his movies either. I haven't seen Dolls, no. What about vampires? I love John Carpenter's Vampires. I love that movie about vampire hunters. Thank you, Raiden. I forget the name of the main guy. It had one of the Baldwin brothers. I think it was like Billy Baldwin. And then it had the main guy. I forget his name. But it was about really awesome vampire hunters that worked for the Catholic Church. 13 Ghosts is great. Dusk Till Dawn, I like a lot. House on Haunted Hill. Man, I tried to watch that. I just find it incredibly boring. 28 Days Later is good. Good one. People Under the Stairs is so weird and cool. I do like it, but it is super weird. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The show is a lot better than the original movie. 30 Days of Night I like until the ending. I feel like the ending was so corny and lame that it ruins the whole movie. Apparently they are going to be doing something Psycho Jester. I've seen reports about a series, and I know that people have been making stuff up about that for years, but I believe I've seen from kind of reputable sources. I'll have to look into that again. I don't have a fear of dolls. Any Alien movie recommendations? Alien. I mean, the GOAT. Alien is incredible. Aliens. The Thing. I love, this is not a horror movie. I love the movie Paul. It's a comedy. I love the movie Paul. Another one, Evolution is another good comedy one. Mars Attacks, a lot of good ones. I haven't watched Midnight Mass one, but I'm going to be doing that again. The early Amityville ones are pretty good, yeah. I have some of those. Those are pretty good. Let me see, more of my recommendations. Oh, of course, you guys know this one now, but I've always loved, it's popular now, but I've always been a huge Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This, to me, is a classic I watch every year. I did not care for Drag Me to Hell. Really did not care for it. I tried to get into it. Was not for me. You know what else I love? Is like the 90s Dracula and Frankenstein remakes. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I love these movies. I grew up with these. I love the old ones, the classic ones, but I love those as well. With Gary Oldman, great. Dracula 2000 I thought was all right. Didn't love it that much. The creepiest demonic movies? Well, if you're talking to me about my favorite demon movies, that's going to be... hold on, let me show you. I've got a couple. I love Pumpkinhead. I love Evil Dead. The Exorcist, of course, is a classic. Some that are lesser known that I consider to be some of the best. You got to check out Night of the Demon. This is from 1957. Curse of the Demon is the American version. Watch the British version. Night of the Demon. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, another really good one. I do really like The Ninth Gate, but once again, that's a director that I have a lot of problems with. Roman Polanski. I don't even have to say why. It's tough. It's tough because some of these guys make really good stuff, but I don't know. I feel like there's a line where I don't want to support it. Maybe I'll watch it sometime, but I'm not going to talk about it on here. I love Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I love that movie. That's my favorite one in the series, probably. I probably like it more than the first one. And the first one is the only other one that I even like. I don't know. I've always liked horror movies, Andrea. I don't really care for Stanley Kubrick very much. And it's not just because of how terrible he was to, I forget her name, but the girl in The Shining, he just passed away. I've just never really cared for his movies. I feel like they're emotionless. I love Season of the Witch. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Love that one. I like the Blair Witch Project and all the sequels. I liked Blair Witch 2. I liked the more recent Blair Witch. I liked the fake documentaries that came out alongside the movie that were awesome. Curse of the Blair Witch. Love the Blair Witch franchise. Modern. I haven't watched too many modern. I watched just recently Late Night with the Devil. Was not very good. I'm definitely behind on my modern horror stuff. Yeah, I do have to leave here in a moment. If we could get to 10,000 likes, that'd be awesome. Tap the screen. I probably got to get going in about 15 minutes. I got to go pick up Melissa from school. I haven't watched Underwater. I heard that it wasn't that great, but maybe I'll look into it. I know it's got Lovecraft vibes at the end. I guess you see like Cthulhu at the end of the Moonstone. Thank you, I Only Date Cats. I really appreciate the gifters. You guys are amazing. And of course, everybody, if you can't gift, tap the screen, share the live, or even just go and vote for me. Please, if you can vote for me daily, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I really would love to clinch this. And no hate to other people, but all these other guys are going to be spending the money buying a car, using it to make content for you guys. I'm going to be using that money to get better cameras, better mics, go out to do more things, talk to more people, get more information. This is going to go to, if you guys like what you see here, vote for me so that I can really kick it up a notch. Not to mention a photo shoot in Rue Morgue, a ghost hunt with Kane Hodder. That would explode my socials into the stratosphere. I like older horror movies. I like some more recent ones, too. I mean, I go up through the 90s to the 2000s. I always say The Conjuring. I mean, I don't know if we can still call it modern. The Conjuring, to me, is a classic of a caliber to up there with Poltergeist, The Exorcist, all of them. Thank you, JK Graphics. I don't care for the Conjuring sequels. I don't care for the Annabelle movies. But the first Conjuring movie is really good, is great. And I don't even believe in the Warrens, but as a movie, I think it's fantastic. But I do love the classics. I mean, I started all this. I was a kid. I loved the Universal Studios monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was my crew. I have not watched Nefarious. I try to get away from the movies that are overly messaging, overly preachy. And that is very like The Exorcist from a very right-wing kind of perspective. Nothing against being that way. I just kind of try to stay away from all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Mama Snow Witch. You rule. The Ring, I like it. I think the first one is pretty good. Lex, it's on my page, on my profile, in my bio, in the link tree. You go to the link tree, and it'll be one of the first ones there. Thank you, JK Graphics. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you, Mama Snow Witch. You're really a goat moderator. Greatest of all time. Creature feature, nice. The only horror hosts that I ever really was into, I love the Crypt Keeper, of course. That was his own thing. But for movies, I used to watch, I think it was called Terror Vision with Joe Bob Briggs. They used to do, I forget what channel it was on, but that's where I saw a lot of them for the first time. Oh, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, I'm repping him right now. I got my Creature shirt on. I believe Ed and Lorraine, they might have had some legitimate ability, but I believe that they were scammers and they were scamming people. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you. Thank you, JK Graphics. Appreciate the gifters. Oh, look at that. See, I'm a monster this whole time. You didn't know. No. Yeah, everybody's being great. I'm not. Remember, I use the term cryptid in a more classical way. I describe cryptid, that is an animal. A cryptid to me is just an animal that's not recognized by mainstream science. It can be dangerous to humans or not. In terms of the supernatural, I wouldn't consider like vampires cryptids or werewolves or things like that. And a lot of these, some of these, what are considered cryptids, I believe, are demons that are either summoned into physical form or they're descended humans. Thank you, Luis. Yeah, that's what Joe Bob Briggs is doing nowadays. Lex Silver, that's his thing now. But back in the day, like I'm talking probably 30 years ago, more or less, he did, I think it was called Terror Vision or Monster Vision, it might have been. I only date cats. Thank you so much to all the gifters. But he used to do like a weekly, I forget, on one of the stations, a weekly like horror movie marathon. That's where I first saw the Jason movies. At the time, they ran all of them. They skipped one of them. I think it was part 4, which is a hell of a one to skip. But they showed basically like 7 Jason movies. It was on Halloween. It's just somebody in the neighborhood. They're backing out a van, some truck. They're backing out. That's all. Yeah, I'm just sitting on my front porch. There are some people around. Not a lot. I've never heard of digging up the marrow. I might look into that at some point. Well, right now I'm talking mostly about vampires because I just got this new album that has vampires. But I'm also, I'm always looking at other things as well. I was just digging into the Black-Eyed Kids, a type of changeling. There's always stuff going on. I'm basically pulled in 100 different directions. TNT Monster Vision. That's it. That was it. Yeah, that's where I saw a lot of good movies for the first time with Joe Bob Briggs. Have I found any new things linked to my ancestors? All the time. All the time. I don't remember the male lady. Maybe I don't remember it as much as I thought. I know that he would sometimes have other people on there. I think he still does stuff on Shudder, Riverstone. Joe Bob, he still does stuff on Shudder. Have I ever used the clock? No, I haven't tried to set it up. Thank you, Zep Tepe. Really appreciate the gifters. Yeah, I see stuff all the time. Like I said, I work with Charles Band of Full Moon Features. I did some work on one of their movies. And I know he does a lot of stuff with Joe Bob Briggs. He posts with them a lot. That's interesting, Jacqueline. They're a pretty terrifying phenomena. Thank you so much, I Only Date Cats. You've been such a MVP this live. You rule. I should what, Reynaldo? I'm sorry. I don't know what you're referring to. I should do what to help? Thank you, Nate. No, I did not. The stuff that was in the clock before that date is gone. Thank you, Riverstone. Really appreciate the gifters. Thank you, Lex Silver. Really appreciate the gifters. You got to get going here in a minute. I got to pick up Melissa from school soon. Yeah, thank you, Mama Snow Witch. Guys, I love hanging out and talking to you. I'll be doing this more often. I'll probably be going live like this earlier in the day. And then later at night, I'll be going live with all the artifacts on the table and stuff like I normally do. I do believe so. I Only Date Cats. They just tried to purchase things for Lex. Thank you so much, brother. They weren't really like threatening, but the whole situation itself is threatening. Erica, yeah, I'm about to get off. I'm going to be on for a few more minutes. I got to go pick up Melissa from school soon. Thank you, Nick. Really appreciate you. To 12, Mama Snow Witch, you're the MVP. Thank you so much. Okay, I think I'm going to get out of here now, guys. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'll be back on later tonight. Thank you, I Only Date Cats. It won't just be me hanging out with my face. It's going to be me looking at the stuff again. But as always, you can always feel free to ask me any questions. Happy Friday the 13th. Thank you, Zep. Thank you, I Only Date Cats. Always feel free to ask me whatever questions you want. I'll see you guys soon. That's my alarm. So I got to go. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.